always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove.
Target calculates standard deviation of group data. And the standard deviation of group data. To find the standard deviation of group data, we use the formula S equals sigma equals the square root of summation of FD squared over N, where S or sigma is the standard deviation. Summation of FD squared is the sum of the product of the frequency and the square deviation, and N is the number of items. Step in finding the standard deviation of group data. Step 1. Prepare the frequency distribution table. We have already the frequency distribution table in the given slide. We are in step 2. Get the midpoint x of the class interval or the class mark. So we need to find the midpoint of 35 to 39. 35 plus 39 divided by 2 is 37. Since our interval is 5, 15, 20, 25, 30, we will just subtract 5 and 37. 37 minus 5 is 32. 32 minus 5 is 27. 27 minus 5 is 22. And 22 minus 5 is 17. R in step 3. Multiply the frequency f and the midpoint x to get fx. So we will multiply 2 times 37. What is 2 times 37? That is 74. 5 times 32. What is 5 times 32? The answer is 116. Next, we have 16 times 27. We have 132. We have 5 times 22. The answer is 110. And we have 2 times 17. The answer is 34. We are in step 4. We need to find summation of fx and the mean. So we will find the sum of 74 plus 160 plus 432 plus 110 plus 34. And the sum is 810. So summation of fx equals 810. We will find the mean. How do we find the mean? So the formula in finding the mean is summation of fx over n. What is summation of fx? That is 810. And what is n? That is 30. 810 divided by 30 is 27. Therefore, our mean is 27. Or in step 5. Calculate the deviation d by subtracting the mean from the midpoint x. So our midpoint is 37 and our mean is 27. So 37 minus 27 is 10. 32 minus 27 is 5. 27 minus 27 is 0. 22 minus 27 is 5. No negative because we are dealing with absolute value. 17 minus 27 is 10. Or in step 6. Square the deviation d of each of the interval to get d squared. So we have d. We need to square d. That is 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. 5 times 5 is 25. 0 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. 10 times 10 is 100. We are in step 5. Multiply the frequency f and d squared. Then after that, find summation of f d squared. So we have the frequency and the square. We need to find the product. 2 times 100 is 200. 5 times 25 is 125. 16 times 0 is 0. 5 times 25 is 125. And 2 times 100 is 200. So we are going to find summation of FD squared. Summation of FD squared is 200 plus 125 plus 0 plus 125 plus 200, which is equal to 650. So step number 8, calculate standard deviation. So we have equals the square root of summation of FD squared over F. The square root of 650 divided by 30. 650 divided by 30 is 21.666. Then we extract the square root and the result is 4.65 or 4 and 65 hundredths. Then we have another formula wherein the denominator is not equal to n but it is equal to n minus 1. Standard deviation equals the square root of summation of FD squared over n minus 1. So that is the square root of 650 divided by 29, which is equal to the square root of 22.413, which is equal to 4 and 73 hundredths. We have another formula in finding the standard deviation using the deviation method, wherein the standard deviation equals I times the square root of summation of FD squared over n minus the summation of FD over n squared, where I is the class interval, D is the deviation, FD is the product of the frequency and deviation, FD squared is the product of FD and D, summation of FD is the sum of the product of F and D, summation of FD squared is the sum of the product of FD squared. Now we are going to find the standard deviation using the deviation method. We'll start at the bottom. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we will find the product of F and D. F times D is FD. 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 3 is 15. 16 times 2 is 32. 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 0 is 0. Then we will find summation of FD. Summation of FD is 16. Then we'll find the product of D times FD. D times FD is FD squared. 4 times 8 is 32. 3 times 15 is 45. 2 times 32 is 64. 1 times 5 is 5. 0 times 0 is 0. So we will find summation of FD squared, and summation of FD squared is 146. Using the formula in standard deviation using the deviation method, we have the standard deviation equals I times the square root of summation of FD squared over n minus the summation of FD over n 1 degree squared. So our I is 5. Why 5? 15, 20, 25, 30. So I is 5. Summation of FD squared is 146. Summation of FD is 60. And our n is 30. We'll try to substitute the given in the formula. So we have 146 divided by 30 is 4.866, and 60 divided by 30 is 2. Then we have 2 squared. So it will become 5 times the square root of 4.866 minus 4. 4.866 minus 4 is 0.866. Then we extract the square root of 0.866. That is 0.93. We multiply by 5. So the result is 4 and 65 hundredths. So we have the standard deviation using the midpoint method and the standard deviation using the deviation method. The result in using the midpoint method is 4 and 65 hundredths, and the result in using the deviation method is still 4 and 65 hundredths.